Peace, wholeness, and divine blessings, everyone. Much love and gratitude to all of you for being present here and trusting me to share the cosmic oracle reading of evolution. I am Moon Goddess Ambrosia, the Fifth Force Oracle, Kin 181, the Red Crystal Dragon. And as always, I'm here looking forward to seeing how the oracle reading for this plasma is going to help us to reach the next stage of our evolution and to complete and fulfill our mission. And so I definitely give my deepest reverence to the M.I.M.E.C community, High Priestess, my brother Aqil, Neptaharka, Baba Wanik, and of course, all of you. Like I said, this is a growing community, and so I'm thankful for us being here supporting one another. I'm also going to be sharing this cosmic oracle reading on my YouTube page. So definitely make sure that if you do not catch the whole video, to check it out on my YouTube, and it will be posted it will be posted at 10:10 a.m. And so also shout out to all that support Moon Goddess and the Healing Arts as well. And so with that, let's go ahead and jump right on into the core reading for us on this plasma by getting into the mindset of a synchronite. In this heptad, I want us to focus on remembering ourselves, like putting or recognizing that we are already whole and holding that within our memory, trusting our inner knowing so that we can be clear and really connect and hold firmly our inner knowing about our divine purpose. And so I want to encourage you all to join me to state your affirmation by saying that as a living expression of then say your kin number and your affirmation. So please join me in doing so as I say mine. As a living expression of kin 181, the red crystal dragon, I dedicate in order to nurture universalizing being. I seal the input of birth with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of space. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe-yo. And so, as above, so below, as within, so without, we are unifying the frequencies of our energy, or I like to say our kinergy, to be in resonance with ourselves and one another. Ashe. And so the the core reading is based on the Destiny Can Oracle board, which provides us with a fifth dimensional template that we can use as a tool uh, a tool and a compass to sustain our cosmic synergy as multidimensional beings. We're not just physical beings, we're not just spiritual, we're not just emotional, we're not just mental. We have 5 aspects to who we are. And so I will go into that as we get into the oracle reading so that we can see how that all plays out for us. And so on this plasma, we are on Kin 45, which is the red Rhythmic Serpent. And so here on the left, this is where the red serpent is placed here, which we can see what the basic template will be for the red serpent. So this includes all 20 of the archetypes or solar seals. You will see the same, or the same basic template as far as the archetypes that are a part of its destiny oracle. And so when it comes to the red serpent, we have the yellow warrior down below in the emotional body. On the right, we have the white wizard in the physical body. And in the mental body, we have the blue eagle, which is there on the left. And because we are on the rhythmic tone, our spirit guide is also the red serpent. And so the spirit guide, if you're looking on the oracle board, you'll see that it's blank there, because again, that depends on the galactic tone that is connected to the archetype in the center, aka the Kenergy for that plasma, which is also one of the 260 kin on the Zokin. And so that is our layout for this plasma. So when it comes to seeing how the red rhythmic serpent is showing up for us to support us, we are in the yellow sun wave spell, the power of universal fire that enlightens that enlightens our life. It should say enlightens our life to influence the wisdom of our free will. So all of the 13 archetypes of this wave spell is here to facilitate that mission. And so with us being on Kin 45, let's take a look at the breakdown as to how it is contributing its frequency um, and its power or creative power to complete this mission. So just like with the red heptad, the red tones, this red serpent is bringing in that knowledge to initiate our views, to initiate a new perspective or point of view on how we can use this as a tool today. How this kin is guiding us based on its I'll say the archetype that it embodies. So jumping down to the archetype, the red serpent is also known as the serpent initiate, which is the power of life force that thrives instinct or thrives by using its instincts. And so it's showing us on this plasma how to thrive using our instincts so that we can stay charged up and actually use our life force to animate our bodies to do what we want it to do and need it for it to do. Okay, so that is the creative power of the red serpent. Now, when we bring in the 13 or the rhythmic tone, which is one of the 13 galactic tones, by us using and connecting with this creative power within ourselves and vibrating at the frequency of this rhythmic tone, which is focused on organizing equality to bring forth the balance, to bring more balance in our life. So organizing, just thinking about when you're like cleaning up, you gotta see what you're gonna keep. You gotta find what you're gonna throw away or give away. You gotta figure out where you're gonna put everything. We gotta get organized with our energy and just throughout our lives, and so that we can bring in equality. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that equality in just a moment here, but basically about us bringing in that equality, it creates balance. So just like when it comes to having an organized mind, it helps to create more balance. And so we could do the same thing with the energy within us. And so let's jump down to see how we can put all of this together, the wave spell, um, the action or the time that, or it's called the time cell of the red serpent, and how we can just put that all together. And so here's the remix version of the affirmation. And for this, I'm going to say we. So we organize our universal fire in order to thrive our free will. By balancing our instinct, we seal our memory being stored of our life force with the rhythmic tone of equality. I, you, we are guided by the power of our life force doubled. Okay, so when we're reading these affirmations and meditating on the kin for the plasma, it's really important to pay attention to what is standing out to you, and giving it some love and attention to see what insights you receive from it. And so as I sat with this, The first thing that came to mind was the first line where it's talking about organizing our universal fire in order to thrive. And so what came to mind was like getting organized with what we're passionate about so that we become more aware of what is genuinely bringing us peace, joy, love, and motivating us to direct our energy according to our goals rather than being scattered. So, your goal could be nurturing yourself, your goal could be creating something that others can experience. And so, when we get organized with our passions, it helps us to get organized with our mind. When we're feeling good and, in our zone and all that good stuff, that opens the door to our wisdom and also helps to regulate our nervous system. So when I think about the red serpent, um, being about that power of life force, I hear our nervous system or our chakra system. And so when we're regulating those elements, this allow us to trust our instincts and have a clear mind so that we can take the right actions towards our goals. And so this alignment within ourselves, like with our nervous system, determines how we model our heart's wisdom. It also determines how we use our enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? So um, it we are modeling that through the actions that we take. Like instead of impulsively doing things or reacting based on survival, being on survival mode, um, when we're walking in that heart knowing, or that's why I like to call it our heart knowing or our heart's wisdom, that's how we can truly thrive in staying passionate and carrying out our goals. And so I shake to that. And the other aspect is the line that states our memory store of life force with the rhythmic tone of equality. So basically, it said, I seal the memory. So this is talking about locking it into our mind. That's how I see it. Like in our minds, we got to lock it in our bodies, we got to lock it in. So it's important for us to observe how our life force is being influenced by the different patterns of thoughts, memories that we have, and how we perceive things. What patterns are we storing in our bodies through our nervous system when we use our thoughts, our go recall different memories and stuff. When we observe that, this can show us how to restore that equality or equilibrium within our nervous system by releasing those patterns that limits our growth or hinders us from our accomplishing our goals. We got to let that stuff go so that our life force can flow in the way that it's meant to. That's not like dysregulated. And so when we do that, we can start by, or once we recognize those things, that creates that space for us to start to embrace the actual patterns that keep our inner spark flowing and glowing, keeping our galactic signatures flowing and glowing within us. And so this is the restoration that is enlightening our whole being. So when we stay in the light of who we are, this enables us to operate in our free will, which I like how High Priestess has helped me to reframe it too. We are freeing the will of our spirit when we do that. When we stay in the light, when we don't give into our ego and all of that stuff that be just, cluttering our minds. And so this helps us to consciously influence our life and flow in the direction that we see ourselves heading, So Ashe. So yeah, I really, really, really appreciate that insight. So much love and gratitude. And so, with my one line statement for us to focus on in this oracle reading, it is it states, I am balancing my life force and my mind to equalize my inner fire and my free will. So you are balancing your life force and your mind to equalize your inner fire and your free will. Together, we are balancing our life force and our minds to equalize our inner fire and free will. Ashe, ashe, and ashe yo. And so, additional questions or two questions that can help us to um, have a lens when it comes to looking at the oracle reading. One of them are or is y'all know what I'm talking about. What patterns are creating mental clutter and dysregulating your nervous system? Next question. What passions help to restore that balance, create that equanimity and vitality within you? So equanimity is having a balanced mind, mentally and emotionally balanced. That's one of my favorite words. And the vitality is, keeping our life force healthy, our nervous system healthy. And so as you pick a question or meditate on it later, that will help to also connect more deeply to the oracle reading for today, or the kin for this plasma. And so let's go ahead and get right on to it. Remember that the central frequency or vibration that we're tapping into is that of the rhythmic tone, which is asking us, how can we extend our equality to others? So it's when we create that balance within ourselves, how can we extend that to others? We got to be balanced within ourselves before we can operate in balance with others. Okay. So keep that in mind, as well as we're focusing on seeing how we can, like how our life force can thrive by us trusting our instincts. Okay, and so we're actually being guided by the rhythmic serpent, which is telling us, is doubling up on it, said, no, like seriously, I need you to focus on balancing your life force and trusting your instincts. So this means that on this plasma, we're to observe our nervous system, recognize when we're feeling calm, recognizing when we're feeling those energies that helps us to focus. If it's something that you're doing that's throwing off your focus, or if it's something that you're thinking that's throwing off your actions, then that's an indicator right there that that's something to look at. You might need to release or let go of something and create a new thought, a new way of looking at it or doing things. And so pay attention to when your energy feels off today. And so what's going to support us, we can look at the physical body, which is, I have numbered as number 2, where we have the white rhythmic wizard. And so it's encouraging us or supporting us to stay in this awareness through enchanting timelessness. So by operating outside of time, so that we can be balanced in being aware and receptive. So in order to really observe our life force, we can't be distracted by the timing of things. We can't let time intimidate us. And I love when I hear Baba Monique say that, or that reminder, when we talk about that. So we aren't meant to be dysregulated by trying to rush and do things in time. When we enchant that timelessness, that brings that balance for us to be receptive of what our body is showing us about wherever we may be or experiencing or thinking. So that's the energy that's going to support us in doing this. And so in the mental body on the left, we have the blue rhythmic eagle, which is here to help us to create and get into that mindset. So once we allow ourselves to be receptive to what our body instincts are showing us, this opens that door for us to create a new vision in our mind, to really listen to our heart space and communicate through our words and the actions what's really in our spirit. So when we listen to our heart and breathe, operating outside of that timelessness, enchanting ourselves to be receptive, we're going to that's us holding space for a new vision to come to mind about how we want to take things to the next level, how we want to show up in freeing the will of our spirit through our own enlightenment. When we're allowing ourselves to be receptive with discernment, that is what where the enlightenment comes from. Okay, so when we allow it to do what it do, that can definitely bring more balance to our visions. And so, and actually, what I wanted to say here on the slide is create the vision to balance our mind, or balance our mind to create the vision. Okay, so last but not least, in the emotional body down below, we have the yellow galactic warrior, which is the hidden power that's fueling us to take the action, to put this energy in motion. This is the energy getting us motivated and to do things. And so the yellow galactic warrior is encouraging us to ask questions, ask the Most High, ask your higher self, God, whoever, ask that divine intelligence some questions here. Like, okay, that's us getting outside of the ego. It's like, okay, let me stand on top of this mountain and really see what's going on. I got some questions. Okay. So when we ask the questions that we need to get that clarity, to know how to bring balance to our nervous system, again, we're allowing ourselves to be receptive. We're allowing ourselves to get into the mindset, or to balance our mind. And so one thing I love about the yellow warrior is that when we ask divine intelligence questions, that helps to awaken our fearlessness. We can't be afraid to ask questions. So the yellow galactic warrior is telling us to model our fearlessness. Be fearless. Like, don't let whatever you're feeling through your instincts to put you in that survival mode. Ooh, this is good. This is good. Don't get into survival mode. Or to get out of survival mode, ask divine intelligence questions. So now you can have the clarity in your heart space to know that you are good. So the kin for this plasma is being fueled by us asking questions. So when you feel your instincts is off, when something feels off, ask that divine intelligence some questions and be receptive to what you receive, to what insights come in for you. And that's what's going to create that mental balance. And so, in a nutshell, when we put all of this together, that is us fueling our mental body. We're then creating that balance within our mind to be organized and in our heart space and in our spirit. And that is how we free the will of our spirit. We got to be balanced in mind, body, and soul, so we can walk in it. And so, Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe Yo. Much love and gratitude to all of you for entrusting in me to share the cosmic oracle reading of evolution. Definitely reach out to me if you want to receive your personal core reading, or you can check out, I got some other dope stuff out here too. But yeah, like definitely hit me up if you have any additional questions or anything like that. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube at Moon Goddess Ambrosia, so that you can see the previously recorded core readings. And so, as always, I am grateful, thankful, I send you all my love in every single moment of now. May that you enjoy your creation and like cash a la can. I shall talk to you all later on the next session. Stay peace.